Well, hello everyone. Dandolph here, coming at you for a kind of an episode one, and it's not your typical episode one. I've been playing on this world for a little while, but I haven't really had time to do recording, so I wanted to go ahead and just get you caught up on where I'm at. I've done a lot of building in this world. I thought about doing a new series, but I don't really have the bandwidth for multiple worlds, so yeah, I've got a lot of progress done here, so I wanted to go ahead and give you a world tour. So let's take a look at what we have going on. So let's go straight through here. This is my portal. I am on a realm server. There are a few other people here on the server with me. But yeah. So my goal here was a cyberpunk city. So this is what I've got so far, and we'll go and check out each one of these builds once we get to them. But let's do a quick overview of kind of the main street, the downtown area. This is kind of what I have going on here. So the idea here was I wanted it to have like a cyberpunk feel and also be very functional. Oops, I accidentally screenshotted. So let's start with this. This was the first build that I did. It was originally my storage room, and then I converted it into 2 tall flower farms. And then if you go right here, my bedroom is straight up here, and this is my bedroom. So I've been trying to do a lot of banner work. I've been trying to do a lot of detail stuff. This is kind of where I keep my notes for. Whoops. Anyways, this is where I keep kind of my notes for what I have going on, what I would like to continue doing. As you can see, I've collected a lot of stuff in this world already, but that's okay. There's still a whole lot to do here. So we'll go ahead and jump back down and take a look over here. So here I've got a big cactus farm. You always need a cactus farm, right? So I've been using a lot of green dye. I'll show you that project in a little bit, but this is where I get cactus. As you can see, it's very full. I've got my furnace running, making the green dye down here, and it collects from up here. So a lot of the interiors aren't super done because most of them are farms, so I didn't really feel the need to do that. In here, I've got a sugarcane farm. Produces sugarcane there, drops in from both sides. I've got one on either side. It's just your standard observer piston sugarcane farm, a few levels on each side. It's not the fastest thing, but it does the job. Then I've got a little spaceship kind of thing here. Like I said, I wanted the cyberpunk feel. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff in the air. I've got a lot of things floating around. I think it has a pretty nice vibe to it. Over here, we've got a melon farm and a pumpkin farm. The collection is down here, and then we'll go take a look at the top. But I just cleaned this out, so it doesn't have a whole lot in it. But yeah, it does produce pretty well. This is how I get most of my emeralds in this world. But if we go up to the top of it, you can take a look down inside and kind of see how I have it built. It's not the most efficient thing, once again, but for the tower design, I thought it would look pretty cool. This is the same exact farm on this side, just for melons. So then across the way over here, we've got a kelp farm. This building was kind of tough to design. I'm still not 100% happy with it, but I think it looks pretty cool. I like being able to see the functionality of the farms in it, especially since it's a cyberpunk style of city. So the dried kelp comes in over there, and then if you come this way, it produces the dried kelp here. I use it to repower this, and I power all my furnaces, my super smelter, that sort of thing. Over on this side, we've got a tree farm. I just copied a tutorial on this one. I don't remember who it was, probably El Mango, Ray's Work, somebody like that. I don't quite remember, but I'm not smart enough to do something like this on my own. I tried and I just could not get it figured out. But we can go ahead and go on inside and take a look at this. Once again, interior not super well done, but I like being able to see all the technical aspects. Just signs here in case anybody else needs to use it. Kind of shows them how it works. But this turns on and you can produce trees. And over here is the collection system. I've got one on the other side as well. But this works super, super well. This is where I get almost all of my wood for this world. And then over on this side, this is where the bone meal goes in. And over up here is where you put in the TNT. I don't like TNT duping. I try and stay as vanilla as possible. So I put in regular TNT just into a dispenser there. So then if we come out here and go across the way, a building that I haven't finished designing yet, this is one of the things on my to-do list. As you can see, it's just a box here. But this is a concrete maker. It's just a simple concrete maker. You put it up here, it drops there. I think I saw a Logical Geek Boy episode about this, and then I added on a small little contraption here with the Etho hopper clock to drop the bottles of enchanting on you, so that your pickaxe gets healed up while you're creating all of your concrete. As you'll see, I do have iron doors on all of my builds. That is because I have free roaming. I like to have the zombie pigmen run around, and they'll break all my doors. So I've been naming them and all of that stuff just to keep them, keep them coming around and through the city. I just think it's a cool thing to have them walking around. There's a random hole back there that they keep getting trapped in, but I'll show you that in a minute. I don't know why they go to that hole, but they always migrate to that hole. So in this building here, we've got a moss farm here. You just come over here and you flip the lever and the thing just automatically goes. It's a pretty simple design. Me and my brother built this one together. He found a tutorial. I'm not sure who it was by, but it does that. And then upstairs we have just a standard little water-based flower farm. Nothing too fancy, but sometimes you need those dyes. So I just kind of threw this one together. This was my own design, but everybody's seen this sort of design. Dang, Enderman. Everybody's seen this simple design, so I have one timer that does the dispenser and a different timer on a different interval that does the water dropping. So we'll keep on going with this tour. Like I said, I've done a lot in this world already, but I do have a lot of really big plans. So I do plan on, every once in a while kind of checking in and, showing progress updates and kind of seeing and I'll talk about what my future projects will be. In here, I've got a super smelter, just a double wide 16 furnace smelter array with minecarts that autofill, all that. Very standard. Again, nothing on the interior here. This one is pretty big, so I may do something with this one in the future. But as for now, it is the way it is. But I really like the way this building came out. As you can see, again, I was trying to do a lot of banner work. I think that really adds a lot to the builds. Some custom trees over here. I was trying to play with the mangrove stuff and add something that, really adds a little bit into the city. I was also really happy with this lantern design. I think they turned out pretty good, and it kind of really fits the vibe of the city. So if we walk down here, you'll see the ship in the background. We'll go check that out in a few minutes. But I've got a little beach area. So, just little umbrellas and Havanas and little places to sit and campfires and stuff. I think it just kind of adds a little bit to the city to be able to have access to the beach and, come swimming whenever you want to get away from the vibe of the big city. Little parking lot over here. And some llamas. I like collecting the animals. You'll see a few more. I've got a horse here. He's pretty cool. Have a carrot. So we'll actually hop on him and ride him over here real quick. So this is a semi truck, but again, it's futuristic, so it's all levitating. It's like a hover truck. I think it turned out pretty cool. I think it looks pretty good. And then we've got a guy in there. He's the truck driver. And if we go up here, we can... Okay, I closed that off apparently. But yeah, he's in there. He's the truck driver. He's doing a pretty good job. So this is back into the flower farm and the moss farm. And then over here, we do have a creeper farm. It does get random small amounts of other items. I'm sure there's like one piece of carpet or something that's missing in this thing. But this is... I watched a Shulkercraft video and did, just your standard creeper farm and covered it with tinted glass. I think this building turned out looking really cool. I'm really happy with the design of this one. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, and it's got a simple timer on the top that you can turn on and off. Over here, I've got some pacified pillagers and, little carts and stuff being pulled by Ribcage and Bony Boy. So they're, pulling the carts there. And then over here I've got another guy. This is Pillager Pete, and he's got a couple llamas. We've got Llama Stay and Llama Deus. So I'm just going to fly up into my bedroom real quick because it's nighttime. And that creeper head there, it gets me every time I fly into that window. I think there's a creeper sitting here, but that's okay. I like it sitting there. I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so we'll fly back out this way and continue on where we were. And I'm really happy with this road design too. I think it turned out looking really cool. I've got glowstone here underneath the honey blocks. I've got the smooth basalt, blackstone bricks, blackstone, and some polished in there. I think the mixture of all that looks really good. I captured another llama here. I haven't named this one yet, but I'll eventually find a place for that one. Kind of little, little decorative flower area here. Another one of these trees. I think it looks pretty good. And then here I have a bamboo farm. And the way that I did a lot of these was I wanted to kind of see when they go off. So they have different patterns of the redstone lanterns that go off when it does. I don't have a proper entrance to this one yet because honestly I don't come in here very often. It's almost always overflowing, as you can see. I just come in here and burn the bamboo because it honestly produces way too much. And again, I don't really have a good way out, so I just tend to fly and smack my face. So next we'll come down here. This area is one of the most non-finished areas. I started working on the entrance and I will come back to it. I've got some of the frog lights, got some banners here, but this is just a simple little sheep farm. Got one of every color. It all produces and dispenses down here. That pink sheep isn't sheared. That's weird. Oh, it's out of shears. I think I have some extras here. I do not. Well, I'll come back and fill that up later. So then if we continue on, got this building. This is one of the more recent buildings I finished up. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not 100%, but I think it's looking pretty good. I do like the frog lights in there. I wanted to incorporate those because I got a frog light farm going. So, I put them on there and then saw what happened, but I've just got a simple basalt generator here. And then upstairs is a cobble generator and a stone generator, just depending on which pickaxe you use. And I am working on collecting up a bunch of that for a project I will show you once we are done looking at the city. And then if you look over here, we've got a slime farm. Not the most efficient thing, but ultimately this is going to be for the looks in the long run. My plan for this is to basically make it look like a meteor is crashed here, and then they will fly out of the hole, and then there will be traps for them to burn on some magma cubes and stuff. Temporarily for now, I have these iron golems that I just heal up and they just kill the slime for me at the moment. This is not a permanent solution, but this will get changed and look like a meteor crash coming here, and then find a way to have the slimes a little bit free roaming, but also getting trapped and getting, automatically farmed. But yeah, I think for now, it's a pretty cool look with the giant hole and the slimes coming up the middle and just getting thwomped by the golems. It's pretty fun. So, and then here we just have a little bit of decoration. I do like to decorate with diamond blocks and diamonds and, valuable stuff because we don't really have an economy on the server. So you got to use them for something, right? You can also see that over here in the creeper farm design. I do have diamond blocks sitting over here, deep slate diamond ore, diamond blocks here. I do like to throw them into builds just to have some sort of use for them. So then moving on from this, we will go ahead and check out the other side of the city where I've been doing most of my work recently. This is my villager village, and it'll make sense once we fly up into the air. So this is my cargo ship. This was kind of based on a real cargo ship. I did my best to kind of recreate it. I didn't follow like a tutorial or anything. I think it turned out pretty good. I saw something like this on Corralis's video, and I thought it would be a really nice addition to this part of the city. So I went ahead and built something very similar, but kind of added my own tweaks to it. But I think it turned out looking really cool. We've got the offloading dock right there, but we'll go ahead and take a look inside the ship first. So I've got my auto sorter in here. I don't remember how many items it is, but it's like 100 something different auto sorted items, which always, it's no matter how big it is, it's never enough. So kind of what I did was my logs go in here, and then any variants I put into the barrels above it, which makes it pretty convenient. If I'm looking for blackstone, then I also know I have blackstone bricks and polished blackstone there. And that's kind of how it works throughout the entirety of the system. So if I have, netherrack here, I have all the netherrack variants and other related items in the barrel at top if I don't have anything sorted for it. Same with like over here, I've got lapis here, and then if I have ores or lapis blocks, then that is what those barrels are for. And then for more useful items that aren't easier to, I don't use as much or aren't as easy to sort, I just went ahead and threw into barrels along the side, like all the record discs go in here, that sort of thing. But yeah, I do want to do something better with my little crafting station. Right now it's just they're all clumped around my little bed here, but it works for now. Got peaches right here, and the little peaches. And I've got almost all the banner patterns. The only one I need left to get is Snout. I raided the one bastion that was near me and it didn't have it, so I'll have to go find another one. That'll be something fun to do in a later episode. And then going over here, this is down to the offloading area for the ship. So as you can see, it's offloading the crates and dropping them off over here. I think that's a pretty cool design to have that one kind of floating in the air. It's currently being offloaded. And then once you come over here, we've got a forklift with a forklift driver. He hasn't run out of bullets yet, but eventually he will. But yeah, I've got him in there, and this is Betsy. Yeah, my current shulker box monster, because this is the area I'm working on. These are all color-coded for concrete, wool, and powder because I'm using a lot of that in these containers. In here, this is actually just about to be torn down. I just finished moving all of my villagers. I've got Zombie Man 5000 who has converted all of my villagers. I have one villager left to move, and actually these two turned to witches, and I'm not sure how because they're indoors, but they were both witches one day, and I just came in here and had to get rid of them. So I'm gonna have to get at least a couple more farmer villagers. But I've moved out all the rest of these villagers, so I'll have to move this storage and everything as well. So this building is soon to be gone because it's getting in the way at this point. As you can see, this is coming this way, this is starting to move that way, and I really need to get this out of the way to be able to continue progress. So we'll take a look at this. This is the latest thing I've built. Not all of these are done yet. I have some spare villagers in this one, and spare villagers in this one. I will probably turn one of these into a breeder of some sort, but the idea is the villagers in this town are kind of the low class, whereas the working class is sort of these guys, and then the pigmen will be kind of the upper class guys, and we'll talk about plans in just a minute. But this villager area is new. I'm really happy with how it's turned out so far, and I do have plans to expand this. It's not quite big enough for my needs yet, because I do want to have a lot more villagers than I currently had. So I've moved in some villagers into a few of these pods, and we'll take a look at the ones that are decorated and then kind of look around. So this is the town here. Got these cool little lamp designs. I think they're pretty cool. Got a little statue with an emerald here, and yeah, I think it's looking pretty cool. I want it to look like kind of a rundown shanty town made out of old used villager storage containers. So I think it's looking pretty cool so far. So inside a few of these, I've got some villagers already moved in, and I've decorated the inside of the ones that I'm working on. So we've got the brewing stands for these clerics, which are full master. I've used these guys a lot. They're actually super useful for a lot of things, like the glowstone and that sort of thing. I thought I had a third one in here. I should have a third one in here. Did the third one escape? They're not supposed to be able to escape. Where's your friend? Yeah, we've got a villager on the loose, it seems. I'll have to try and locate that guy. Okay, so we'll go ahead and come back out here. Oh yeah, how did you get out? Hold on, we're gonna have to trap him. I might have to come up with a better door system, because apparently that was not good enough. We'll try and get him on a minecart real quick, just to hold him in place, so hopefully no harm comes to him. He knew. The villager knew what I was going to do, and he ran away. It was just right here. Okay, well, I guess we'll deal with that later. Not a huge deal. I do have more villagers somewhere else in this world. I'll show you in a second. But then, if you come back to... Actually, time to sleep. I'm very big about sleeping because I do plan on letting these guys free roam at some point. Yeah, I just think it adds a nice aesthetic. Aesthetic is the word. But yeah, I'm debating if the free roamers will be villagers with jobs or not. I might just breed a few extra to have roam around the village and keep the ones safe that I need safe. Yeah, he's just gone. Did you go up here? Anyways, so the next one that I have is this one here. These are some of the book traders, and I've named them very clever names, as you can tell. But everybody gives me stuff for 1 emerald, which is great. And I think the interior turned out pretty well. You know, they're pretty small spaces, so there's only so much you can do about it. But I think it turned out pretty well. So the rest of my book traders are in this one here and in the one below. I wanted to keep them all sort of together. So in here we've got some more guys. Everybody, again, 1 emerald for the book trades. Super useful, you know, nice little cozy designs in here. And the last one that I have completed is this one down here. And same thing, nice little cozy design, got some plants, got some pictures on the wall, and efficiency here gives me efficiency for 1 emerald. So that's kind of the very, very quick and dirty base tour. We'll go ahead and do a little flyby and start talking about what the plans are here. So I want to do a little bit more detail on the ship. I definitely think he could use it. It does look a little bit flat and a little bit plain, so I'll probably do a little bit more work on the ship. The villager area definitely needs to get bigger. I would like to eventually get fewer villagers per container, but I don't have quite enough for that at the moment. But this is definitely going to expand more this way. This road is going to come through here and across here to have access to the docks, and then kind of fill the rest of it out with more of these containers and stuff. But I think it's looking pretty good so far. I really like the kind of dirty, beat up look of it, and I think it's turning out just like I wanted it to. So yeah, like I said, I like to go pretty much pure vanilla. So I don't have Optifine, I don't have anything like that, so we're going to have to take a look through this, but I think it's looking pretty good. As you can see, there's some glow lichen, there's some vines, some disconnected parts that you fill in with the trapdoors and with the iron bars and that sort of thing. I think it turned out pretty good, and I'm very happy with this so far. So the next thing in my plans is, of course, finish off decorating any buildings that haven't been finished. So I need to get this building over here done. I need to get this build done. And other than that, this main street is looking pretty good. I think it turned out really well. Like, one of my favorite views of this city is to just kind of come through here and just walk through here and just take a look at all of it, because it's got a nice atmosphere and nice ambiance. Eventually, I'm going to put something in the sky, maybe a cloud or something, that throws a little bit of darkness, because I think it looks better when it's nighttime. So we'll check that out a little bit later. After we do a little bit more of the tour, we'll come by and do a nighttime flyby of this area. So this flat spot here, my plan is to do shops for kind of things that I farm, and just have like a row of shops of, you know, very close together, clustered small buildings that are all shop fronts and storefronts and all of that. And we'll get more pillager guys, and we'll get more of the zombie pigmen coming in here and being the shop managers and all that, and I'll stock them all up and almost make it like a little separated storage farm. I think that'll look really cool. And then once that is completed, the plan is to have this road extend out this way, and then over here I will have the fancy part of town. A lot of really cool modern buildings for the zombie piglins to live in, and I think that'll look pretty cool. So here's the zombie hole. I don't know why, but these guys, Helgen, and I gave them all really kind of funky names. Sleth, Valkatroth. Oh, staying still. Gravslok. Really, really interesting, like kind of futuristic, almost alien sort of names. But they're going to live in the really fancy part of town. So we'll have a town square for them. We'll have some nice modern houses and that sort of thing. Probably over in this area, I'm going to build my house. I haven't really built a house for myself yet. I just kind of have the bedroom and kind of live out of the storage room over there. But I'm going to build a really nice, big sort of, if I can manage it, like a futuristic castle is kind of the idea. I want it to look dark, and I want it to fit with the build style and the build palette that I've been going with, but I also want it to be very obviously not a building, not a house, sort of more like a castle. So that's the idea. Is over here I'll put my house with my castle. Over here is going to be the fancier part of town, and in the long term I have a much more sinister plan for kind of the area in the middle here, but that's more of a much longer term thing. But there might be, a giant mech coming out of the ground blasting, and that's what this explosion sort of thing will ultimately be. Over here in the background, I do have a very small drowned farm. It's not the fastest thing in the world. Trust me, I've spent a lot of time at it and not gotten very many tridents. I'm also not good at making the entrances to these things very accessible. But if you stand here and wait, the drowns will come up here. It's basically, I've got a big dark box under there with a turtle egg that they go towards. So it does work. It just isn't the fastest thing. But I do have several tridents, and we'll see the reasoning for that here very soon. So as far as my base, that's what I've gotten done so far. I do have a lot of big plans, as you can tell, so we will definitely be doing some update videos and some build videos and stuff but I do want to get back into posting a little bit more regularly. It's been a while since I've posted anything, and I've just had a lot going on. That's a nice world glitch. There we go. I do have kind of a lot going on in my personal life, so I will try and do the best I can, but I do definitely want to post more videos again soon. Got a cool sign here, cool billboard, and I really like this portal design as well. I've been trying to throw in these frog lights wherever I can. So we will go ahead and go through here into the nether. Okay, so if we follow the carpet this way outside of my portal, this is actually the frog light farm. I don't know who originally posted this design. It is a very simple design, but it is incredibly effective. The longest part about this was getting the powdered snow. So basically you have the powdered snow one block above them, and they eat the magma cubes, and they drop in the frog lights here with a little minecart collection system underneath. Very, very simple, with an AFK platform up top. So if I go up here, and land up here, and you'll see I have buttons in all of these. That's so that because if I'm on realms, it will kick me off if I'm idle. So if I do F3 and T to reload the resource packs and take my hands off of the mouse, then you'll see that I continue clicking the button, so it allows me to stay AFK for longer. But now that we've been up here for a second, we should hopefully see a couple magma cubes in here. As we do, perfect. And then the frogs just come by, the snow kills any of the bigger ones, and then the frogs just eat the little babies and poop out the little frog lights. Very, very fast, very effective system. If you do want frog lights, I definitely recommend building this. It is super, super efficient. super cheap to build. The only thing is powdered snow takes a little bit of time to collect unless you live near an area that has some of it already. But I have a zone that I just collected up a bunch of cauldrons and put them down. So we'll keep going back to my portal this way. And actually, before we do that, do I have my rocket chest on me? I do. Perfect. Awesome. So what we'll do next is go ahead and check out spawn. This is a building my brother built. It's interesting. It's fun. It's very colorful. Everything here is completely spawn proof. So if we go through here, this is spawn of the world. It is also at 0, 0. So you can see spawn chunk right here. We've got an iron farm. This thing is constantly running. It's probably overflowing. Not quite. I'll have to come clean that out here fairly soon though. We've got a mob farm over here. I kept this out of spawn chunks intentionally so I didn't cause lag on the world. But again, you got another platform up here with a button on it to be able to AFK at. Got a starter tree farm here, which is no longer in use, but you know, chop down your tree, it collects the saplings for you. But whenever somebody new joins the world and they need some simple stuff, they can take whatever they need from this area is kind of the idea behind it. So we have a little bit of everything growing around here. Little composter system and a couple cows, a couple sheeps, a little bit of path design, but nothing too crazy. And then just a little starter house here with a bunch of beds and stuff. But yeah, everything in here is free for anybody new that joins the world. So if somebody comes in and they want to take anything that's in any of these chests, it is free for any of them to use, as you can see by this sign here. Just a mine down there. We've got a spider farm over there. I've got a bee farm over here. I do plan on adding a new building to the city with a bee farm. This thing's constantly overflowing because I don't have much storage for it, and I do use a lot of honey in the city on the streets and the roads and stuff, so it is nice to have a good source of that, but I haven't gotten around to that building yet. So that's basically all that's here at spawn. We didn't build up a lot here. And then we've got a couple other people on the server, but today we won't check out their stuff. We'll probably get to that a little bit later because this tour will take a little bit of time just to show kind of the things that I've built. So we've got Ant on here. That's down to the regular nether. I don't really ever build in the regular nether. Jordan over there. We've got community trading hall, which is where we're going to check out next. An end farm that we'll check out in just a second. There's an ancient city that I raided there. My brother's base, that's my base there, and Dawn is that way. So we do have a few players on here, but I think what we'll check out first is just right up here, which is my gold farm. Not the biggest gold farm you've ever seen. I don't need a whole insane amount of gold, but it does the job. So they fall from there, and their gold goes into this long line of chests here. Got a piglin trading system here. This is actually a system that I designed myself. I'll show you kind of how that works in just a second. I just want to grab some gold. And then we've got the collection system here, which as you can see does a pretty good job. I've started burning all of these items here because I have so many of them that it's not really worth collecting anymore because they don't really get used that often, and if I ever need to, I can just disconnect this by putting that hopper back to the side there. So down here is where the gold gets collected. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this gold, we'll put it into the system so I can show you how it works. Oop. Okay, so back up here. This is a system that I designed myself because every once in a while I like to do some of the smaller things. So basically what happens here is we put the gold into this dispenser here, as you can see. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put some gold in here. And once I push this button, it gives him a piece of gold. And then what it does is when the piglin drops the gold, it has a comparator signal coming out of the hopper beneath him, which then turns this torch off and then back on, and it gives him another piece. So it doesn't ever give him too much gold. It always gives him just one more piece no matter how many items come through that hopper, because sometimes they'll spit out 10-12 pieces of gravel, and it was giving way too much gold if I didn't have this, whoops, and I just broke it, didn't have this little stopper system in here. So this actually did a really good job of making sure that they don't get much more gold than they really need. But yeah, overall it's a pretty good system. I like it a lot. And then one of the more recent projects that I've done will follow this blue and red carpet here. I wanted to make a community trading center for everybody on the server, and just to be able to have access to all of the villagers and all of the villager trade types. So through here, none of these villagers are cured, but I don't think that really matters when you're dealing in this sort of quantity. I've got 10 of each type, and I've leveled every single one of them all the way up to master. So no matter what you need, you have the availability to be able to trade with them. This is why I was saying it's not a huge deal if I have more of these guys, because I've got plenty here. Got a little bed and an ender chest and a crafting table in each corner, and as you can see, there are a lot of villagers here in this area. 10 of each type, and then every single book that's available. So these are at a higher price than the ones in my base. The ones in my base are kind of for my personal use, and then anybody else can come through here. And I do have like community emeralds that I've put in here, and if anybody wants to donate stuff, it can go in there, and then some free books, that sort of thing. I will not show you the outside because it's just a box, and it probably will always be just a box. The only purpose of that is to go directly into the hall. It doesn't look great on the inside either, but it is very functional. So we'll go over here. We do have an Enderman farm. I haven't decorated the Enderman farm yet. I probably will at some point, but I haven't done it yet. But I think the way that it looks now is actually, you know, fairly acceptable. It's not the most horrid looking thing. We've got it just sitting right over there. Did it out of deep slate just to kind of make it look a little bit better. And then double carpets over here everywhere to prevent endermans from spawning as much outside of the fall area. But yeah, as usual, it's very loud. And then back in the back here, we've got an enchanting area. We've got anvils, everything you need. And then there is a ender pearl dispensing system that drops off right here. You can hear it going, and if I get in the wrong spot, it'll just start shooting ender pearls into my inventory. But no other builds have really been done here. These are just bubble vaders to get back up in case you don't have a elytra yet. But yeah, no other builds done here in the end. I tend to not build in other dimensions. I probably should start doing that, but honestly, it just doesn't interest me all that much. So we will go back to spawn here. And there's one more area that I want to show you, which is this carpet here, the green and orange. So this isn't super done yet. There's only a couple of things here so far, but I've spent a lot of time working on the couple of things that are here. And there's one big project here that I will show you that will end up being really, really super cool. So this is our minigame area. This is kind of a combat running game, like a race sort of thing. Basically, you pick up a pair of soul speed boots and you race with your friends. And I think it's a lot of fun. If I can get somebody to race with me, I will probably try and record that. There's also a single player mode with a redstone system around the back that counts your score when you enter the race and stops your score when you leave the race. Pretty simple system there. And then we will go ahead and fly over the top of it so you can kind of see the size of it. It did take a while to build and it did take a lot of resources, but I think it was a lot of fun. Then up here, this is just a simple little quickie mini game. The idea behind this one was, if you've ever played that Mario Kart game or Mario Party game where you just kind of have a chance to die, like it's completely random. I'll show you the mechanics behind that in a second. But somebody else here on the server recommended or wanted to build this, so we built this one together. So basically what you do is you take all your gear off and you jump into this hole. Obviously you can't jump out of it. And then this button either drops a TNT and blows you up, or a potion of leaping so you can jump your way out. Then you come over here, grab a milk if you survived, and then last person standing wins. Yeah, very simple game, but it's a lot of fun. So one of the bigger projects I'm working on now currently is, if you've seen Cub Fan 135 Season 6, you will know what this is. He created this completely awesome golf game. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my elytra. As you can see, there's a map of the hole. Tells you basically go straight that way. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the driver, launch our ender pearl this way, and then throw the ender pearl instantly afterwards. A lot of the times you do throw it farther than it will render, so you do have to move forward and it will teleport you once it lands. So that would be stroke 1. And then there's Riptide 1, 2, and 3 on these different clubs. So there, I landed right here. So from here, I could just throw an ender pearl straight, but also you have ice with you when you play this game. So you can break this spot here, put a piece of ice, and then break it for water, and then you can launch yourself further. But I think from here, I should be able to get pretty close. So then that would be a 2 for me, or a 3 for me, I'm sorry. Yeah, and then you move on to the next hole. I keep trying to fly, but I don't have my wings on. And then as you can see, here's the hole here. You go across the water, and then you're going to go that way. But I don't have any ice on me, so I won't go ahead and do that because I won't be able to actually do it properly. Alright, so before we see the city at night, as you can see, it is almost nighttime here. I did want to mention a couple of things. As you can see, the server difficulty is locked on hard. I cannot change that. This is a complete survival world. You know, that's the best way to play this game in my opinion. But I forgot to show you the map of the city, which I think is looking pretty cool so far. To give you an idea, this is 6 maps total. This is about 4 maps worth, and then we've got the boat over here. I actually do need to update to get the villager area in there, so I'll go ahead and do that while we're taking a fly around. So now what we can do is go ahead and take a look at the city at night. This is where I think it looks the best. So let's go ahead and take a flight out into the city and see what it looks like. We'll start off over here and look at the ship. There's not any light on the ship on the top, so it does get a little bit dangerous at night, but it doesn't really make sense to me to have too much lighting up here. But the dock is very well lit, as you can see, and it really... That's not the right one. There we go. It really pops at night, but you definitely want to have that bright. So, because if people are working at night, you got to be able to see mobs show up everywhere. But yeah, the villager area with all the glow lichen and the lanterns and stuff, it really looks like dark and dingy at night. I think it looks really cool. And then with the light in the roads here, we'll let the city load in and we'll take a walk through the streets of this city at night. This is my favorite view of the city, and I think it looks really, really nice. I do need to get a little bit more light in a couple of places. I'm still working on some of these smaller details and stuff in these bigger areas. But just look, I'm so happy with how this has turned out. Like, this is one of the biggest projects I've ever done in Minecraft, and I do have bigger plans to complete this city. Like, everything's functional here, which made it take a little bit longer, but I do have bigger plans to really make this place look a lot cooler throughout the time that I plan on spending here. But yeah, this just looks so amazing at night. I'm so happy with how everything looks. Got the light coming off of the crying obsidian, and it's just such a beautiful view of the city. Then if we come over here, around to the backside, everything over here looks really nice as well. Got just enough light to make it look lit, but not like overly lit, so it still has that cyberpunk sort of feel. I just think everything looks absolutely amazing here at night. I think it's such a cool vibe, such a cool city so far, and then the lights going off. I just think it's turning out really well. I don't want to say turned out because it's not quite done yet. And then I did want to let you have a chance to see the lights go off on these as well. This is all slabs here, so it's a safe place to land. But these lights do go off as well. But for now, I think I'm going to have to go ahead and call it an first episode world tour here. I know it's not the standard way to start a series, but you know, I'm not your standard kind of guy. So what we'll do is I'll try and get out a video every couple of weeks and just do the best that I can to try and keep you guys updated on this world. So we'll go ahead and pop this map here in and call it a day from there. Yeah, that looks great with that new addition. Alright guys, well, my name's Dandolph. If you liked the video, cool. I'm glad you liked it. See you next time.